In this video, we're going to talk about Google's recruitment process. Google hires one of the best talents from all over the world. They're pretty strict, but they get the best people. There's a reason why they're one of the biggest companies in the world. They just hire amazing people. And in this video, we'll be breaking down how the hell do they attract amazing people? What's their recruitment process? Let's jump right into today's video. So Google's recruitment process. Recruiting. Invest in employees who can get results on their own and don't need you. That's a really good fact. The herd effect. Great people will only work for great people. Great people also attract great people. Next is hire generalists and spread recruiting efforts across firms, business, and even non-profits. Google rarely hired lawyers straight out of school. They sort of wait for people who've sort of worked in many different fields and have gotten that experience, and then they recruit them. The interview process. Here are some questions I would ask. Can you teach me something complicated I don't know? That's a really good question. What is a big trend that you missed in the last 10 years? What did you get right and what did you get wrong? The best interviews feel like an intellectual discussion between friends. Ask, what books are you reading now? How did you pay for college? If I were to look at your web history, what would I learn about you that isn't on your resume? The time frame for interview, you should be looking around 30 minutes. Short interviews forces conversations to be more protein and less fat, which, no time for small talk. So 30 minutes is sort of the best time, like 60 minutes would probably be too long. And the maximum is you want maximum of 5 interviews. So if you look at this graph, it's pretty crazy how it shows that after 5 interviews, there's a diminishing return on how confident they are on the hire. Like literally, after the first meeting, you have a pretty good shot on understanding who the person you're hiring and if they're a good fit. So you should try to interview 4 times max, because any more it's sort of inefficient. Next is leadership. So ask them for scenarios of leadership and case studies of leadership roles. So you can see Google is pretty strict. They require extracurricular activities, people to be like a leader, people to have the ability to just talk and conversate during an interview. Next is they'll ask about role-related knowledge. They'll test how knowledgeable you are in the field that you're working in. Next is general cognitive ability. They ask role-related problems to see your approach to solve the problem. Next is Googleness. Basically, they try to get a feel on what makes the candidate unique. They want each sort of candidate to have a bit of Googleness, which means being a bit unique. And lastly, they hire people who are smart enough to come up with new ideas and crazy enough to think that they just might work. Give them a place to create change and adventure. That's how you can attract people. Next is hire people who are smarter and more knowledgeable than you are in that field. Hire people who add value to both the product and culture. Hire people who are ethical and communicate openly. Don't hire people who just think about problems. Don't hire people who just want a job. Don't hire people with narrow skill sets or interests. And don't settle for anyone who's not a great candidate.
A few moments later.
Now this is what they'll do for their hires. People who are like CEOs, heads of certain divisions. What they'll do is they'll book long distance flights with a potential employee to see if the travel would be boring. Would you be able to pass time with a good conversation? Larry and Sergey would take it a step further when looking for a CEO. They would book in a weekend trip with them. This is actually really smart. It makes sense. If you can't spend a weekend with someone, you shouldn't be working with them. You want to think out of the box when you're recruiting for specific roles. You might need a mix of a law partner plus Rhodes Scholar. Hiring brilliant generalists are far better than sort of people who are narrow. And lastly, utilize referrals. Everyone knows someone that is great. someone who has been to the Olympics, climbed a mountain, wrote a critical acclaimed novel. Everyone's job in the company is to bring in the greatest person they know. Track employees' referrals and interviews, and make these metrics count towards performance review and promotions. And yeah, that's Google's hiring and recruitment and interview process. Hope you guys were able to learn a lot. I learned a lot just putting this together, and there's definitely a lot of things that I want to take away and apply to my own company, Stunning.com. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's short, straight to the point. The PowerPoint wasn't too interesting, but hopefully my editor was able to add in some cool footage to spice things up. But yeah, so yeah, I think overall, when building a company, the people in the company are the most important thing. That's something I'm starting to realize more and more. Like, I can't achieve what I am achieving without the people. Hiring great talent is really important. Like, you have to look for gems. You can't settle for B or C players, because B or C players are not gonna only take you down and make you angry and frustrated, but they're gonna make your team members angry and frustrated. Always have a high bar standard. Like, I'm always looking for ways to train my employees. Make sure the team is the best it can possibly be, and make sure the quality is as high as possible. Every time the quality dips, we need to start training people again, firing people, hiring better people, because I want to have the best team possible. So those are the lessons I've learned, and reading just like how Google builds their team has really aided a lot to my own company. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy these videos. I want to document my process and basically document what I'm learning. Now, I know I do lose a lot of audience when I talk about this higher level content, but hopefully there are people who have been following my journey and following the growth in the company and actually enjoy this type of content. If you guys do, I want to thank you guys for listening. Other than that, let's go ahead and announce last video's winners for $1,000 worth of courses or consulting calls with me. The winner's here. If you guys want to qualify, all you have to do is drop a comment below, follow me on Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this video, and I'll be picking the best comment every single video. Other than that, hope you guys have an amazing day. I really appreciate you guys putting the time and effort to watch these videos, and I really appreciate all the support on the YouTube channel. My goal is just to upload things that I do every day and just document my journey. And this is basically the content I wish a lot of other gurus would have posted, and I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, because a lot of these gurus, these people, these YouTubers, they're not transparent. They're putting on a front, and hopefully you guys are getting just a real and raw taste and a transparent taste of who I am when I'm just sharing everything I do. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you guys tomorrow with nothing but more value. Peace.